Welcome to the Ultimate Fight Simulator, the very first edition and hopefully not the last edition of the Ultimate Fight Simulator, where I will be simulating upcoming fights in a game of 3 series to determine my prediction for the real fight. I'm Sean Bio, and today I'm going to preview and simulate a critical fight in the bantamweight division between Jimmie Rivera and Thomas Almeida, which takes place this Saturday, July 22nd at UFC Fight Night, Weidman versus Gastelum in Long Island at the Nassau Coliseum. So without further ado, let's get things started. So, yep, pro 3 rounds. It's going to be a 3-round fight, real time. The fight's going to have to take place in Madison Square Garden because there is no Nassau Coliseum in this game. Maybe in UFC 3, but for now we're going to settle for the Garden because there's no better replacement for the Nassau Coliseum than MSG. So, yeah, it's a pretty big fight in the bantamweight division. A great fight to open up the main card for UFC on Fox.
Division fight.
Two of the top 10 bantamweights in the world going at it inside the octagon. Thomas Almeida coming out first. One of the heaviest hitters in the game, in the division. A very young guy. He's only 25 years old. He's number 9 in the world in the UFC bantamweight rankings. Fights out at Shoot to Box Academy in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Yep, multiple fight performance of the night winner. He has 4 of them. He has four performance of the night bonuses, as well as 1 fight of the night. So, you know, it's going to be a fun fight when Thomas Almeida is in the octagon. And he's going to be taking on, I guess you can say he has the hometown advantage. He's not too far from Long Island. Jimmie Rivera. Wow, but apparently there's a lot of Brazilians in New York, judging by the chants in the arena. Apparently being cornered by Mike Dolce. I don't know how accurate that is, but contestant on season 14 of The Ultimate Fighter. He didn't make it into the house. He was in the preliminary round. He was fighting to get into the house. Unfortunately, he lost via second round TKO to Dennis Bermudez, who ended up winning the entire season. And that was at featherweight, so I don't know if it's unfortunate that he lost that fight, because look where he's at right now. He's much higher ranked than Dennis Bermudez is in his division. So, you know, maybe it was the best for Jimmie Rivera to not compete on the Ultimate Fighter. Thomas Almeida definitely has a size advantage. He's 3 inches taller, 2-inch reach advantage. You know, Jimmie Rivera is a short, stocky bantamweight. But he makes it work. You know, he's been fighting at bantamweight which seems to be like a majority of his career. But yeah, Thomas Almeida is one of the most dangerous guys in the division. Let's see, I have it written down. He has 20 wins. 20 of his wins are stoppages, and he only has 22 wins. So you do the math. 16 of his finishes were in the first round, and 17 of his wins are TKO. So, and Jimmie Rivera, who actually goes the distance. So it's complete. These two fighters are complete opposites. Jimmie Rivera has gone the distance 14 times. 14 of his wins are via decision. So it's
Tonight's fight is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
Jimmie Rivera has finished fights, but if it goes the distance, Jimmie Rivera definitely has the advantage. But if it's a stoppage, you know, I'd be leaning towards Thomas Almeida.
Nice left hook to the body. Shots. Tries for a low signal.
Oh.
Wow, that was a quick takedown.
Takedown 30 seconds or 25 seconds into the round. Oh, but Thomas Almeida ends up on top. If Thomas Almeida has an advantage, it's going to be on the ground. He's a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't know about Jimmie Rivera's ground game, but Jimmie Rivera, let's just say Jimmie Rivera is much better on his feet. He does have a triangle choke submission win and a what else was there?
He's got the double underhooks.
Jimmie Rivera, I'm sure Jimmie Rivera has a good ground game, but if he's going to win, it's definitely going to be on the feet.
Locks up the Muay Thai clinch.
He holds a third round submission triangle choke over Willie Gates I don't know if he's still in the UFC, but that fight took place in Bellator 2. And before that, he fought at Ring of Combat 23, where he choked out Tyler Venice in the second round. As for Thomas Almeida, he, you know, like Jimmie Rivera, his lone. Where's his other submission win?
He's gonna try to take the back, I think.
Oh, he has 3 submission wins. But Thomas Almeida has 2 armbar. In his first three fights, Thomas Almeida had 2 first round finishes via submission, and they were both armbars. So they have both fighters haven't shown much of their ground game in the UFC, but maybe this is, with both fighters being good strikers, maybe this is the fight where they display their ground game.
Looking for the armbar. Can he finish this fight? He's got the arm here.
Oh, this is really close.
He's got that arm locked. Throw the leg over the face.
Oh my goodness, this is deep. Oh, but Jimmie Rivera gets out.
Of it. Deep armbar. Beautiful escape. Full guard. And back to his feet. Good front kick to the body by him. Big punches.
Mind the silence if I don't talk. I'm actually really focused on this fight. I know it's not real, but you know, this might be a preview of what's to come this Saturday. There's a lot of ground fighting in this game. I'm not sure how accurate that's going to be compared to the real fight, but you know, this game is very unpredictable. And when I say game, I mean the sport of MMA. You know, like yesterday, I'm sure there were people who were expecting Santiago Ponzinibbio to knock out Gunnar Nelson, but not many people. I'm sure Gunnar Nelson was a favorite heading into that fight until Santiago knocked him out cold in a minute and a half. Yes, there was an eye poke. There's a little bit of controversy, but nonetheless, Santiago Ponzinibbio, a star is born in that guy, the Argentinian. It was a strange night. I'll say yesterday, because the fights took place during the afternoon. UFC Glasgow. All the fan favorites didn't do too well. Like I said, Gunnar Nelson lost to Santiago Ponzinibbio. Joanne Calderwood lost a close decision to Cynthia Calvillo. That fight could have gone either way. You can't complain about that decision. Paul Felder knocked out Stevie Ray. Khalil Roundtree knocked out Paul Craig at the end of the first round. So a majority, the 3 Scottish stars on the card all lost. You're gonna be hearing a lot of ums during this broadcast, and probably much more to come. This is my first YouTube video, so you have to give me a break. But anyways, back to this fight. 20 seconds left of this. 20 seconds left of this round.
He hip escapes from the full mount. Full guard. There's a left that connects.
Joe, he's showcasing some great movement on the ground. That's the end of round number 1.
So yeah, like I said, a lot of ground game. Thomas Almeida nearly submitted Jimmie Rivera with an armbar, which may have won him the round, but you know, Jimmie ended up on top at the end of the round, so we'll see how the judges score it. But yeah, back to yesterday. What a bizarre night. It was a great night of fights, but I think the fans in attendance weren't too pleased with the result. Gunnar Nelson lost, Joanne Calderwood lost, Stevie Ray lost. Marshman versus Ryan James was a really good fight. Marshman won that, and then Paul Craig got knocked out by Khalil Roundtree, and Justin Willis earned a unanimous decision over James Mullerin. It was a pretty solid card. Danny Roberts beat Bobby Nash, and Neil Seery retired after his 3rd round submission loss. Galore Bufando with the weirdest knockout of the night. I'm surprised he didn't get a bonus for that. slammed Charlie Ward in his head. Oh! Thomas Almeida hurts, sorry, Jimmie Rivera hurts Thomas Almeida with a body shot and drops him. Oh! But Thomas Almeida ends up on top. Oh! And he takes his back. That's not good. Wow, what a turn of events.
And he postures up.
Apparently there's going to be a lot of Brazilians in the crowd. I think Thomas Almeida might be the only Brazilian
Solid elbow.
fighting this Saturday. Let's see. Oh, Rafael Natal is going to be Rafael Natal is fighting on the card. Alex Oliveira. So there's going to be a Godofredo Pepe. He's going to be on that card as well. Oh, I think that's it. Oh no. Okay.
He's got some space.
So there's going to be there's going to be plenty of Brazilians on that card. I don't know if it's going to be enough to bring a whole crowd over. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's it. That's got to be it. That's going to be it. Why isn't he finishing it? What's wrong with this game? Oh, that's it. That's got to be it.
Flattened out.
Oh my goodness. If I was actually playing the game, which I'm not playing this game. It's a simulation. I would have finished this fight in the first round if I was playing Thomas Almeida.
Nice takedown. And right back to side control.
Thomas Almeida dominating this fight
Trying to mount. It's
on the
time to
ground.
full mount.
I know MMA is unpredictable, but
Always trying to better his position.
I would not expect this fight to take place on the ground as much as it has in this fight. I don't think it will in reality, but you know, who knows? If the fight does, if the majority of the fight takes place on the ground this Saturday, you'll remember where it came from, and it came from this game. It will show how accurate this game is. There's a lot of scrambles in this fight.
Now he's working out of the half guard.
And back up again.
Funny note, Jimmie Rivera actually fought on the first Scotland card 2 years ago, and that was his UFC debut. It was actually on short notice, and he knocked out Marcus Brimage in like less than a couple of minutes, I want to say.
Transitions back.
Yeah, a minute and 29. Can't believe he didn't get a bonus for that. But yeah, he knocked out Marcus Brimage. It was a short notice fight. He replaced who did he replace? Ian Entwistle.
He's taking his back now.
Oh, Thomas Almeida has his back now. And look at Jimmie Rivera now. Goes from fighting on the first card in Scotland to fighting a top 10 bantamweight in the world. One of the best bantamweights in the world in Thomas Almeida. Oh my goodness. This is a 10-8 round, if I say so. Oh, that's it. That's got to be it. There it is. Thomas Almeida knocks out Jimmie Rivera to win the first fight of the series.
Great stoppage by the referee.
What a monster. Just to note, Thomas Almeida is actually ranked 90 in the game compared to Jimmie Rivera's 86 ranking, which is ridiculous, but it's not EA's fault. They didn't know how Jimmie Rivera would turn out to be. But nonetheless, Thomas Almeida knocks out Jimmie Rivera in the second round via ground and pound. Unfortunately, I can't skip this part to just go straight to the second round. I can't even skip the intros, which sucks, but maybe I'll figure out how to fast forward the clip just to go straight to the second fight. Thomas Almeida is a problem. He's 22-1 in MMA. He's 5-1 in the UFC. Like I said earlier in the video, he has 4 performance of the night bonuses and 1 fight of the night bonus. He holds a win over Albert Morales, who actually fought yesterday, but he lost to Brett Johns. He fought Anthony Burchak, knocked him out, knocked out Brad Pickett in a crazy. It was back at UFC 189, I want to say that, but Yeah, it was a crazy flying knockout in the flying knee knockout in the second round. Yeah, 29 seconds into the fight, into the second round. Knocked out Yves Jabouin and made his debut against Tim Gorman, and got the fight of the night and the unanimous decision. I believe it was his second decision of his career. His very first professional fight in MMA. He went the distance. Ever since he's been knocking people out, submitting people a couple of times, but mostly knocking people out.
They say that defense is the best offense.
Thomas Almeida was the Legacy UFC bantamweight champion before he entered the UFC.
Thomas Almeida enters the octagon, and he's ready to fight.
It's a catchy song. I don't think Thomas Almeida would walk out to a song like this with the way he fights. The guy's an animal. And I don't think Jimmie Rivera would walk out to this song either.
He is looking for a dominant victory as he
It
works his way
still
towards the octagon.
puzzles me how there's a lot of Brazilians chanting that when this is Jimmie Rivera's neighborhood.
He is just a cardio machine. He never seems to get tired. And one thing we can count on is that the deeper this fight goes, the more the
Jimmie
odds are
Rivera
going to swing in his
is,
favor.
let's see, he's 20-1 in MMA. He's 4-0 in the UFC. He's still undefeated in the UFC. Beat Uriah Faber in his last fight in September at UFC 203. Defeated Yuri Alcantara, Pedro Munoz, and in his debut he knocked out Marcus Brimage. Fun fact, his Jimmie Rivera's heroes are The Rock and George St. Pierre, which probably is explains his stocky physique. He's a pretty big guy for bantamweight. He's not tall. He's not tall enough for the bantamweight division, but he's got some size on him. By the way, I did a poll last week on Twitter on who would win between. I asked who would win between Thomas Almeida and Jimmie Rivera, and I got 12 people, which is a lot more than double digits. Is a huge accomplishment for me. I forgot what the result was, but I know Jimmie Rivera got the majority of the vote. He had 58% of the vote. A lot of people think Jimmie Rivera is going to win this fight, which is, explainable. He is the top 5 bantamweight in the world. Thomas Almeida is still trying to get past the knockout over Cody Garbrandt. That was the first loss of his professional MMA career. I think Thomas is still going through that phase. He did finish Albert Morales in his last fight back in November, but I think he's still recovering from the aftermath of the Cody Garbrandt knockout. So let's see if Jimmie Rivera can bounce back or if Thomas Almeida can get the sweep. Oh, beautiful spinning elbow by Thomas Almeida.
Big combination. Nice jab. Oh, he landed an uppercut.
Combination.
Oh, and he's a nice
Oh my goodness.
Oh, he's landed.
Oh my goodness. Jimmie hurts Thomas Almeida again. Oh, and he goes for the takedown though. I don't think that was the best idea, but I wonder what Jimmie's ground game is. I think he has a really good ground game according to this game.
He's going to try to take the back. And he got back to guard.
Oh, and Thomas Almeida ends up on top again.
Trying to pass there, but he gets stopped.
Jimmie Rivera actually went 7-0 as an amateur, so imagine if he adds that to his pro MMA record, he'd have a ridiculous record. I think both fighters sometimes get accused of having padded records with how amazing their records are. Jimmie Rivera is 20-1 in the UFC or in MMA, and Thomas Almeida is 22-1 in MMA. But you know, with the way they've been fighting in the UFC lately, you know, I think their records are justified. They are two of the best in the bantamweight division.
He moves to stacking him now. Excellent movement and transitions here on the ground, staying busy. He's posturing up here.
Oh, here we go again. Oh my goodness. Someone in the crowd just asked him for an armbar.
This is a dominant position.
Oh,
he's got his back, Joe.
Jimmie Rivera, beautiful counter by Jimmie Rivera. He should probably keep it on the feet. Oh,
Very good shot.
I wonder if Jimmie Rivera can make flyweight. I know he's a big guy, but he's also short for the bantamweight division. I wonder if he's got a lot of muscle on him. I don't know if he can make flyweight, but with his size, I think he could totally make it. I think it would just be a process on cutting down to 125. You know, the flyweights definitely need some help with Demetrius Johnson not having much competition. You know, I think you know, they say Demetrius has cleaned out he hasn't really cleaned out the division. He needs to fight it a couple more times. Yes, he's defended it so many times, but
He's got a very nice right hook, Mike.
you know, even guys like TJ Dillashaw and Jimmie Rivera should move down to flyweight and fight someone like Demetrius Johnson.
Nice block there, Joe.
You know, he has yet to fight Ray Borg, Wilson Hayes. Oh no, he just beat Wilson Hayes. Sorry. Juicy Formiga, Sergio Pettis, Brandon Moreno, Ben Nguyen.
Under a minute now on the clock.
You know, Demetrius Johnson still has some names to go through, but you know, if the UFC made Demetrius Johnson move up and fight the bigger names, then I wouldn't be able to complain about that.
Nice knee to the body.
Almeida with a hook to the body.
I wonder if in this game you can pull a galore Bufando and Jimmy can just throw Thomas Almeida on his head.
Remain in the round. Good knee to the leg. 20 seconds.
I wonder if Mario Yamasaki will actually be the referee.
And they disengage from the clinch.
Oh, that's it. Stop the fight. That's it. Oh, 7 seconds. That's it. He's got to stop. Oh my goodness. With 5 seconds left on the clock, Jimmie Rivera finishes Thomas Almeida via ground and pound. That's crazy. That's clutch right there.
Here's our fight replay.
So the series is tied at 1. It's time for the rubber match.
Shots that are getting in over and over again, ground and pound.
My gosh.
For the TKO finish. And let's check it out from a different angle.
So both fights were second round finishes. Thomas Almeida gets 1 TKO. Jimmie Rivera gets the other TKO. We'll see how it plays out in the third and final fight, because that's gonna play in my my predictions for the fight this Saturday. If I was doing the regular look up stats, look at past fights, which I'm doing right now, but I'm gonna base it solely on this video game. If I was looking up stats and looking up past fights, I'd probably go with Jimmie Rivera. Just especially with the momentum he's on, he's just on a tear right now, compared to Thomas Almeida, who's still recovering from the Cody fight. But yeah, last fight wins. So hopefully this isn't boring any of you. I hope it's not boring anyone watching, but this is my first time filming a YouTube video. I'm not filming myself. Maybe in the future, but yeah, if you want to leave some comments below on, you know, on tips on how I can improve this channel, what kind of content should I provide, yeah, I'm just doing this for fun, but we'll see how far this goes. I don't think the face swap thing is I don't think the face swap thing is working for me, but I'm not gonna stop doing that. But I could use some. I want to do more than face swap and, you know, writing for cage pages, which I haven't done in a while. I did write something about Mousasi. I did write the Mousasi. I did write an announcement about the Mousasi. Who's he fighting? I think it's Mousasi. I don't even remember anymore. Oh, Alexander Shlemenko. But that hasn't been posted yet, so maybe my writing days are over. We'll see what happens. Started professional MMA career at the age of 18. When I was 18, I was still in I was still in high school. I was doing my 5th year. And MMA wasn't, I don't think MMA was even legal back then when I was 18. It was pretty close, but yeah, being from Toronto, it's hard being an MMA fan with how tough the Ontario commissions are, and with the UFC holding like one or two events in Canada, and you know, it alternates between Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary, Halifax. What else is there? Ottawa. Thomas Almeida fought in Montreal one time, beat out Yves Jabouin. Disappointing for the Canadian crowd. But yeah, got a performance of the night out of that one. Jimmie Rivera, I don't know if he's ever fought in Canada. You know what's funny? He's been fighting in New Jersey, Connecticut. He's been fighting in America, but before he got into the UFC, well, after signing with the UFC, he's fought in Scotland, Brazil, New Jersey, and now Cleveland. So he's done a bit of traveling as a UFC fighter. And now it's probably nice for him to stay home, or at least close to home, for this fight. So yeah, rubber match.
Almeida with a strong combination.
He's doing a great job of mixing things up here, keeping it unpredictable.
If Mario Yamasaki ends up roughing this fight, it's going to be pretty scary. He's getting a lot of heat for the Chiesa Lee stoppage. I think it's slowly died down, but I think people are still furious about that. I'm sure Michael Chiesa is still mad about that. Probably still appealing. I don't know if he's still appealing that. Dana White was pretty mad about that. Yeah, referees. I think between referees and judges, I think the referees definitely have the toughest fight, the toughest job, because they only have one. They only have one chance to, you know, stop the fight, and it could be good and it could be bad. It might be too late or it might be too early.
That's a good straight.
But yeah, Mario Yamasaki is not everyone's favorite MMA referee. Probably either be Mark Goddard or Big John or Herb Dean. Dermot Miragliotta, who's improved a lot, I must say. I know earlier in his career he was getting a lot of heat, but you know, there's not much. He's not getting into much heat as like a Mario Yamasaki or Steve Mazzagatti or a Kim Winslow or a Cecil Peoples. Yeah, you're gonna be hearing a lot of rambling out of me. Yeah, this fight, it's gonna be pretty funny if the real fight actually takes place on the ground for the majority of the fight. Oh, but it's back up on its feet.
He was looking for the head kick, but it was blocked. Wow, nice front kick.
Oh.
Big swing and a miss by Almeida. The jab connects.
He's doing a really good job of timing these shots. Stuffed it.
Oh, beautiful head kick.
With the kick.
Good block, and he counters with a nice right hook.
Both men landing in that exchange.
I'd probably be the worst commentator. It's probably like the first time John Anik did a pay-per-view, did the first 3-man booth. There was a lot of silence. There's gonna be a lot of silence out of me. Probably in the future. Right now, I don't think I'm doing too bad. Maybe I'm talking too much, actually. Oh.
Into full guard here. Slides him over, and nice reversal here. Hits the reversal here, and into full guard.
Nice work from the bottom.
Man. I wonder if there's actually a lot of Brazilians in New York. So I'm sure there's a lot of more East Coast New Yorkers, New Jersey people in New York than there are Brazilians. Those chants are actually pretty loud. It's not like Scotland loud, but... Oh! Thomas Almeida going for a guillotine. Thomas Almeida, I believe he does have a guillotine choke on his record. Yeah, he does, but Jimmie Rivera gets out. Thomas gets up back on top.
Oh, beautiful sweep. And now he's working from full mount.
Oh no, Jimmie Rivera going for the armbar. 30 seconds left on the clock. Oh, but no.
He got his arm loose. Hip escape. And he's out of the full mount. Nicely done. And he's in full guard. Hammer fist. A cut has opened up on his nose.
He's in half guard. Nice sweep. Almeida's got full mount.
10 seconds left on the clock before the second round.
Postures up.
Took the back.
Oh, unless Thomas Almeida can finish it right now. Nope.
Step right back over.
He's probably going to go to the second round.
Round one is complete.
Relax. Recover. Excellent work with those strikes. Combination.
I really can't wait for UFC 3 to come out.
Let's take a look
I
here.
think, well, UFC 2 was definitely a huge improvement from UFC, the first UFC game, which was an absolute disaster. I played the demo, and it was awful. Apparently, it was bad the first time. I've never played the first game actually, but
And here's another very
yeah,
nice
UFC 2 is
takedown.
definitely an improvement. So hopefully UFC 3
Incredible highlights
tops
in
that, or
round.
tops this one right now.
Gets us set for round number 2.
Wow.
Second round.
Oh, that was a sucker punch. I think Thomas Almeida wanted to touch gloves, and Jimmy just punched him in the body.
Blocking the punch. He misses with the left hook. Good defense with the parry.
And nails with that right hand.
Big power jam. Oh!
Oh my goodness. Beautiful uppercuts. Oh! Thomas definitely has the reach advantage.
Wow, swing and a miss. Oh, and another one. That hurt him.
It's going to be interesting to see how Jimmie Rivera deals with that length.
That punch was blocked. Nice strikes land.
Both of his eyes are looking pretty swollen now.
That one landed.
But then again, Jimmy, probably a majority, if not all of Jimmie Rivera's opponents were taller than him. And he's 20-1, so he's not doing too bad. But Thomas Almeida going for the guillotine. Oh,
He might be forced to tap. His choke is
this
getting
might be
tighter
it.
and tighter.
Oh, he gets
He
out.
gets his neck free. Wow, that was a close choke.
Half guard.
Oh, now he's in the mount. No, he's going for an armbar.
He's setting up the armbar.
Almost had the armbar.
Excellent posture.
Oh my goodness. This might be it. Oh no.
On his back. There he goes. Back to mount again.
Oh. I think that's it. Jimmie Rivera should just Donkey Kong Thomas Almeida's head.
He's working from his back again.
But somehow Thomas Almeida's going to end up back on top.
Now he's in full
Look at that.
guard.
He's already in guard.
Posture.
He was just in mount seconds ago.
Solid right by Almeida. And again, he's got half guard.
Back to full guard. Very nice.
That's a
good
huge
left
left.
hand. And he gets reversed.
Look at that. Oh, and he's back on top.
Nice sweep. He's in full guard.
He lands a big shot from the bottom.
Oh, Thomas is going to end up on top. And there you go.
Oh, there he goes. Full mount. There we go.
It's going to be funny if we see the ground game. If we see their ground games, it's going to be pretty interesting.
Just over 2
Because we don't see them on the ground a lot.
Wow, that was a hard one, Mike.
Oh my goodness.
Elbow to the head.
He's got his back here.
He's got a
Oh, it's going to be a choke. He's going for the choke.
Almeida's trying to lock up a submission here.
There's plenty of time left. Oh, no, he escapes
And he
though.
gets out of that
Oh,
naked choke. Big
What a
right
huge
hand.
right hand.
Big left hand.
Half guard.
Good left hand. Nice combination from the half guard here.
Ah, that's an outstanding transition.
Here we go. 1 minute.
one minute left of the second round. Both the first two fights ended in the second round, so
Avoids the takedown attempt. There's the
we'll see if the
jab.
fight ends in a minute. We saw Jimmie Rivera finish the last fight with 5 seconds left on the clock, so
He's looking to pass here, Joe. Really good movement on the ground.
Now he's got the mounted
oh, he's got him in the crucifix. Oh, he's still.
Back to
Oh,
side
oh
control.
no. Jimmy is tired right
In
now.
half guard.
So is Thomas.
Final seconds of round number 2.
He's got full guard here. Hammer fist.
And that's the end of round number 2.
Who would have thought this fight's going to be
Man, this is not good.
a grappling
Thomas Almeida's eyes have
exhibition?
started to swell.
They look really bad at this point, Mike. Some really significant swelling around
Yeah, Thomas was
both
doing
eyes.
very well on the feet in the
And
first
here's another clean
half of the
shot
round
that
until
lands.
the fight ended up on the ground and
And another perfectly placed
Jimmy was
strike.
taking over. Altera, as they like to call him.
Very exciting.
Got that nickname
round.
from his uncle. Don't know why. I just read it. I read it somewhere.
Precisa melhorar o nível da luta. Se concentra nos contra-ataques. Boa. Boa, Jimmie Rivera.
The beautiful Ariani getting us set for round number 3.
The last round of the series, we're gonna see who's going to win in this game and possibly in this this Saturday in their real fight.
Going back to that last round, Joe, Thomas
Oh.
Almeida's shown some very precision striking ability.
Yeah, he had some very high accuracy in that round. Very clean.
Sounds like
crisp
Thomas
strikes.
Almeida might be winning the fight. Oh, that's it. Stop the fight. Oh, and he escapes, or he doesn't. He survives for now. Oh my goodness, that was nasty. Oh, but Thomas Almeida is gonna end up on top. Jeez Louise.
Sweet reversal.
Stay on the feet.
Vicious punch combinations here. Postures up.
Joe, you can see the effects of those body shots. There's a ton of bruising on his right side. Great movement on the ground.
Punch him.
full guard now. Oh, big right hand clipped him. Huge elbow. Man, that is rough.
Huge bomb from the top. Back to half guard.
Gosh, their faces are a mess. It's like they were in a slugfest, but they were really just scrambling around on the ground, punching each other. Thomas is going to get the mount.
He transitions to full mount. Tries to pass here, but gets shut down. Excellent.
Maybe they'll update the shorts in the next, either the next update or UFC 3, because they didn't stop with the black and white, but they came up with more options, which is pretty nice. And Boss Logic is designing the, I don't know if it's walkout shirts, but it's a good move by Reebok too. After all the mistakes they've made, they made a good move by signing Boss Logic to do designs for their shirts.
Under 3 minutes remains in this fight.
Boss Logic, who's been making better fight posters than the UFC, which is crazy.
He's gonna try to take the back.
But I think the UFC has been improving with their posters lately, especially with the UFC 214 poster with John Jones and Daniel Cormier.
Gets his back one more time.
Man, that right eye has really started to swell shut.
I think this is close to being finished.
Here in half guard, you're all good there.
The UFC 212 poster with Max Holloway and Jose Aldo, that was pretty nice. And what else is there? But yeah, the posters from the UFC have been done really well lately.
He's really staying busy. Great transitions on the ground. Under 2 minutes remain in this fight. Caught him with a straight right. And he finishes the single.
He's looking to take the back.
Oh, great transition.
He's got the mounted crucifix. This is dangerous.
This is a really close fight.
And again, he's back into side control.
Maybe it's a preview of what's to come this Saturday. It's going to be a really close fight.
Moves to north-south.
Whether it ends in a finish or a decision, it's going to be. I think it's going to be razor thin. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. I think in the public's eye and in the hardcore MMA fans' eye, I think Jimmie Rivera might be the favorite. But Thomas Almeida hits like a truck, whether it's with his knees or with his hands. Thomas Almeida is a knockout machine. But Jimmie Rivera is doing really well with a minute left on the round.
He's trying to pass here. Excellent posture here. Into half guard again.
Almeida gets it back into his guard.
Oh, he connected with that right hand. He's back in half guard now.
Oh, he's keeping busy from the bottom.
What a strong ending for Jimmie Rivera this round.
The final seconds of this fight.
Side control again.
Hopefully it's not a case of when the computer controls both fighters, it makes it a close fight. But we'll see what happens.
Let's take a look at our fight replay.
That was a really close fight. I wasn't really paying attention to who was winning, but yeah, it was both fighters had their moments.
Got it here, but his opponent gets out at the last minute. Round 3, some ferocious ground and pound capped off by this powerful knee to the body.
Bruce Buffer has gathered the judges' scorecards.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges score the contest 29-28, 30-27.
Oh, unanimous decision.
Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Jimmie.
Wow, Jimmie Rivera. Like I said earlier, if the fight's going to go to a decision, it's going to go towards Jimmie Rivera. Thomas Almeida doesn't go the distance a lot, rarely. And that's probably why Jimmie won that fight. So I'm talking in terms of reality. Maybe the video game is much more accurate than we think. But yeah. So there you have it. I believe so. The first fight went to Thomas Almeida. He knocked him out in the second round, ground and pound. Jimmie Rivera dropped in the second fight. Jimmie Rivera dropped Thomas Almeida and knocked him out with ground and pound with 5 seconds left on the clock. And then in the third round, Jimmie Rivera took home the unanimous decision. So if I was going to make it a prediction, according to the game, I'm going to say Jimmie Rivera via decision, like it would be, in real life. If I was just looking up stats and stuff, I'd say Jimmie Rivera via decision, and so does the video game. So we're gonna go with that. So we'll see how accurate that is on Saturday when the real fight takes place at Long Island in Nassau Coliseum for UFC Fight Night, Weidman versus Gastelum. Leave a comment below on who you think won or who you think wins this Saturday between Jimmie Rivera and Thomas Almeida. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And while you're leaving a comment on who you think wins, give me some tips on how I can improve the content of this channel that I'm starting. And yeah, just I could use all the help I can get. So also subscribe to the channel. And what else is there? If you really want to support me and you're feeling a bit generous, become a patron. I'm gonna post the link in the description, and yeah, just support the channel, just support me. Stay tuned this week for more Ultimate Fight Simulator videos for this week's fights. I'm doing Gian Vellante versus Patrick Cummins, Darren Elkins versus Dennis Bermudez, and I'm gonna do the main event for Chris Weidman versus Kelvin Gastelum, and that fight's gonna be I'm gonna do 3 rounds of it, but the fight is gonna be 5 rounds, right? So, but I'm gonna stick to 3 rounds because you don't want to hear me talk or ramble for, what is it, an hour and a half or 2 hours, something like that. But yeah, just stay tuned for more videos, and that's pretty much it. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at UFC Face Swap. I'm Sean Bio, and thank you for watching.